Hello and welcome to the English Hub, where learning English is easy. Let's look at the topic, the easy way to write an essay. Here's a quick overview of what we'll be discussing. What is an essay? How to structure an essay? How to develop paragraphs in an essay? How to outline an essay? And we'll be looking at a sample essay. So what is an essay? An essay is a group of paragraphs that focus on one main topic. And here are some simple steps that you may follow in order to write a well-developed essay. First, you need to read the essay question thoroughly and you need to understand what you are required to do. Then you should choose a topic, write an outline for the essay. If you are in an exam, you may not have the time to actually go through an outline step to step, but you should actually have a visual picture of what your essay will be about. Then you should structure the essay. You go on to writing the essay. And in writing the essay, you should have three main parts: the introductory paragraph, the body paragraphs, and the conclusion. And of course, after you're through writing the essay, you should edit to ensure that there are no spelling errors, sentence errors, punctuation marks missing, etc. Now let's talk about how to structure the essay. In everything that we do, you have to have a plan, a basic plan. And in an essay, the plan looks like this. There are really 5 main parts. That is if you're writing a 5-paragraph essay. So you should have an introduction which provides background information on the topic, as well as a thesis statement at the end. And by this you should know that a thesis statement is a summary of the main points to be discussed in the essay. After the introduction, you should have the body paragraphs, and depending on the length of your essay, you could have 3 paragraphs or more. All right, but in the body paragraphs, you should have a topic sentence based on the thesis statement mentioned in the essay. So based on this 5-paragraph essay, we'll have 3 body paragraphs, and each paragraph will have its own topic sentence based on the thesis statement. And finally, your essay should have a concluding paragraph which summarizes the main points discussed in the body paragraphs, as well as a restatement of the thesis statement. This is where some students make the error. You should not forget to restate your thesis statement in the concluding paragraph. Now let's look at how you should develop the paragraphs for an essay. Bear in mind that a paragraph is a group of sentences that focus on one main idea. And a paragraph consists of a topic sentence, supporting details, and a concluding sentence. Imagine that a paragraph is a burger, and you must have had a burger. What are the parts of a burger? So you have the bun, which is cut in 2 halves, and inside that you'll have the vegetables, the cheese, and the meat portion. Now, what would a burger be without the buns or the bun? What would the burger be without the vegetables and the cheese? What would it be without the protein or the meat portion? I don't know what you would call it. But an essay or a paragraph is similar. So a paragraph must have a topic sentence, and it must have supporting details and a concluding sentence. Otherwise, it's not a well-developed paragraph. All right. And the topic sentence in a paragraph, when you're writing an essay, is based on one of the main points mentioned in the thesis statement. Now, the supporting details, they have a specific function. And I think this is where students struggle to develop their essay. They're wondering, where am I going to find the details to develop the body paragraph? Well, this is how you go about writing your supporting details. Now, the supporting details have specific functions. So after you have written your topic sentence, the supporting details should describe a concept mentioned in the topic sentence. It could give examples of the main point you mentioned in the topic sentence. You may state an opinion or fact about the main point you mentioned in the topic sentence. You may also provide definition. Alright, so that's how you go about developing your supporting sentences or your supporting details. Now, the final sentence in a paragraph, and students often leave this out, but it's very important. The final sentence is called the concluding sentence, and what it does is to summarize the main points you discussed in the paragraph, or it may provide transition into the next body paragraph. Let's look at this sample paragraph for the components that we just discussed. I color-coded it so that you could follow easily. The first sentence states, online class has several advantages. And this is the topic sentence. So we expect that the rest of the paragraph will talk about the advantages of studying online. Firstly, it is cost-effective and less time-consuming. Which of the functions of the supporting details do we have here? Looking at it, this sounds like an opinion, or it could be a fact, depending on how you look at it. Students can log into classes from the comfort of their homes, and the schedule is flexible. Again, this is clearly an advantage, and it could be a statement of fact or opinion, depending on how you look at it. Not everyone is able to be in a comfortable environment at home. Sometimes the background is noisy, etc. Sometimes people have work and the class schedule may cut into that. So it could be a fact or an opinion. Secondly, online classes also go beyond boundaries since it can facilitate students from all over the world despite their time zone in one setting. And this is true. So this supporting detail is a statement of fact. Online classes allow students to manage their schedule, and it offers them the freedom to study from home. And this is a concluding sentence which summarizes the advantages of having online class. Whenever you're writing an essay, you should follow a simple outline. If you're in an exam setting, it may not be possible for you to find the time to structure an outline, but you should have a mental picture. And with this mental picture, you will save time and you will know exactly what you'll be discussing in the essay. Now, an essay has 3 broad sections. First, you have the introduction, and this provides background information on the topic, as well as a thesis statement, which functions like the skeleton of the essay, because all the body paragraphs will be developed based on the main ideas that are mentioned in the thesis statement. Now, the body section is a chunk of the essay, and depending on the length of the essay, you may have 3 or more body paragraphs, and the function of these paragraphs is to discuss the main points you mentioned in the thesis statement. And finally, you must have a concluding paragraph, which may consist of 3 or more sentences summarizing the main points you discussed in the body paragraphs, as well as a restatement of the thesis. Now, students tend to forget to restate the thesis, but it is very important. You can have this at the beginning of the concluding paragraph. So here's a detailed version of the essay outline, and this was actually done by a student. Now, you should use a combination of Roman numerals, bullets, and letters to organize your essay outline. The student has a clear thesis statement which looks at the significant changes that are evident during the 20th and the 21st century, She mentioned ideological principles, technological advancements, and human rights. So the body paragraph should discuss each of these. Here is the topic sentence for the first body paragraph, and you can see the supporting details here, which will be expanded, of course. And remember that you could provide definitions, you could give examples, state facts, state opinion, etc. And the same thing is done for the second body paragraph. Here's a thesis statement. The major differences between the 20th and the 21st century society's ideological principle. Again, this was mentioned in the thesis statement, so the student is on point. And here are the supporting details for this body paragraph. Of course, they should provide explanation, give definition, describe a concept, state facts or opinion. Here is the third body paragraph. So the student is discussing how the 20th and the 21st centuries were impacted technologically. So this is a thesis statement here, and A to D are the supporting details, and remember the function of the supporting details. And here's a fourth body paragraph. The student is looking at human rights issues, and of course you have the supporting details in points A and B. And then we have the concluding paragraph. The student has restated the thesis statement and provide a synopsis of the main points mentioned in the body paragraphs. Now let's look at the actual essay that the student wrote using the outline that we just looked at. So the title of the essay, the topic is Morals and Values in a 20th Century Society versus Now. So here's the introduction. The student has given some background information on the topic. And the final sentence in this paragraph is a thesis statement. And this will guide the body paragraphs. From this, the student has generated the body paragraphs. Let's look at the first body paragraph. Here we have the topic sentence and the supporting details. And here we have the concluding sentence being highlighted. Remember that your body paragraph must have a topic sentence, it must have supporting details, and the body paragraphs must have a concluding sentence. Here's another body paragraph with the topic sentence in bold, supporting details, and a concluding sentence. The final paragraph here is a concluding paragraph, and the student has restated the thesis statement and has given a summary of the main points mentioned in the body paragraphs. So here's an example of an incorrectly written paragraph, and some students actually do this. They chunk everything in one continuous paragraph and call that an essay. That's incorrect. All right, so you should break up your paragraphs in the different sections. And remember that we said a paragraph has 3 general sections: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. All right, and we mark each paragraph based on the indentation. So you should move away 1 inch from the margin when you're beginning a paragraph. That way the reader can see where one paragraph begins and when it ends. All right, and your examiner is looking out for indentation and well-developed paragraphs. All right, so avoid writing everything in one big chunk. The students actually do this. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe, like, and share this video.